Hi, it's Lisa and I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be somewhat different. As I told you, in 2016, I was looking to do, different videos. I know that you all enjoy my purse reviews, products reviews, what's in my bags and all that good stuff. But I did want to strive to do, videos that were on different topics. So today I just want to share my experience in participating in a burning bowl service or burning bowl ceremony. Apparently, this has been going on for years at various churches or just not necessarily at church. Different, I think it's culturally ritualed for cultures, certain cultures. But, I do encourage you to do some research and look up and Google the Burning Bowl service. So I got my iPad here, my big iPad, and I just want to give you a definition of what a burning bowl service is. And then I'm going to share with you my experience of the burning bowl. And then I hope to encourage you to have your own burning bowl ceremony after you hear about this. But the burning bowl ceremony is a very ceremonial service of consciously releasing and letting go of that which no longer serve your highest good. This might be behavior, a situation, addiction, illness, habit, place, people, etc. Make your list and then burn it over a flame. Watch all of it turn to ashes as you visualize this all dissolving and leaving your life. Afterwards, it says make a list, but you write a letter. You write a letter of, thanking God, or if you don't believe in God, but just write a letter saying, what do you see for yourself in 2016? And then you make a plan. You write a letter saying what you foresee yourself in 2016. You put it up, or you give it to, if you participated with a church or a group or whatever, and you get that letter back to you, or you open up that letter sometime in July. Okay, so here's how it works for me. I participated in a burning bowl ceremony through Christ Universal Temple Church. That's not my church that I attend, but a friend of mine, well, actually my sorority sister invited a friend and I to go. I had never heard of the Burning Bowl service, so I went on YouTube, I Googled, I researched to see what it was about. So the instructions are, really, if you're looking to move forward within this new year, it's like releasing bad habits, insecurities, people, anything that you feel like that's really holding you back from living a life that's meaningful, anything you feel like that's holding you back from going forth in your dreams and prospering. So the instructions were to write down a list of things that you want to rid of. So that means things you want to rid of that you feel like that is personally holding you back. That can be people. So that way you write down a list of people who you feel like you need to get rid of your life. Bless them from afar and keep it moving. You don't need them, or they don't mean goodwill to you. Things that you feel like, it could be things like insecurity, debt, illness, laziness. You write that down. It could be material things. It could be addiction. It can be your sickness. It can be your debt. You draw up this whole list of things you want to get rid of, things that's holding you back, things that you feel like is weighting you down. And then you get this list. So they encourage you to do the list prior to the service, but if you didn't have time to do it, they gave you an opportunity to do it during the service. So I had pre-written my list prior to going to the service. Another instruction was to write a letter. Now, depends on where you're at, religious-wise, spiritual-wise. for us, it was writing a thank you letter to God. And really, it was just saying thank you for all that's going to get accomplished in 2016. So for me, I wrote part of my letter I want, because I feel like that's kind of personal, but I'll just touch on a segment that you already know about. So for me, I wrote in my part of the letter I wrote in, I want to say, God, thank you for getting me through this credit card debt program. Thank you for providing for me as I sacrificed and made strives to be to get out of credit card debt. I thank you for getting out this program prior to the end of 2016, which is my goal. So it's just like putting down what you want. I saw one of the young ladies, she said she's thanking God for her, solidifying a husband. She's been dating a guy for a few years now, and she's hoping that 2016 will be the year that he pops the question. So she wrote that in her letter. Different people wrote different things in their letter. So it's like things you want to see happen in 2016. So I also did my letter in advance, but you had an opportunity to write some things down. They provided envelopes and paper to write down if you didn't have it done. But I wanted to walk in and have it done because I wanted to not have to rush. I did not want to have to, try to figure things out. I sat down in my quiet time and I wrote this stuff out. The list to burn, and the letter. So for us, what's going to happen, that letter, we seal the letter up, address it to ourselves. Hopefully you put a stamp on it, but the church said if you did not have a stamp, they would make sure. So what's going to happen is the letter we wrote to ourselves, the letter we wrote thanking God, the letter we wrote is going to come back to us sometime in July, and then we're going to look and see what happened. July is it's the beginning of the rest of the 6 months of the year. So that's your time to go back, to reflect, and see if there are some things you need to turn around and move, turn around and get going to see if you can get that accomplished for the next half of the year of 2016. So I went, had my list, had my letter, service was packed. Never heard of this, but apparently this church has been doing this for quite a few years. So of course it was a worship service. They had singing. There was a word. And pretty much what it was telling us that, you got these lists of goals that you come up every year, and then you wonder why you fall short. And as being some Christians, we believe like, okay, we're going to trust God to do this for us, but we don't expect to do anything. We leave it in the hands of God, and we don't do anything. Well, with any goal, you got to have a plan of action. So the minister was just encouraging us, if you want to get out of debt, you got to have a plan. What steps are you going to take to get out of debt? If you were looking to lose weight, what steps are you going to do? So he said, not only write down this letter, thank you, but come up with the plans to try to see how this is going to get accomplished within this year. And then he also talked about having people accountable, not everybody, but just a close set of friends that can hold you accountable to make sure you're looking after this, you're, accomplishing these goals, you're taking the steps. He also said, don't feel like you got to make, huge leaps and jumps. Sometimes it's just crawling, it's baby steps, it's getting closer to the goal. You're continuing moving, and it might not be leaps and bounds and turns, but you're steady crawling like a baby, or you're taking a few steps like a baby that's getting ready to that's learning to walk. So he had a word, had great singing, had great worship and fellowship, and then we went ahead. They asked us to pull out our letters, not our list, and with the list, we said these words, and I got this from, if you wanted to participate in this, you might want to keep this video as a reference. So we got hold of our list. They prayed over us. And then it says, we hold up the list. I let go all doubt, fear, criticism, judgment, condemnation. I let go all beliefs in poverty, age, sin, sickness, disease, and death. I release and let go all of the negative aspects of my life and my affairs, and now it's done. So what they did, they collected everybody's list, and they took these lists, and they had 3 barbecue grills in the sanctuary. I know when I first saw it, I was like, okay, they're going to burn the church up. But they had 3 barbecue grills. And so they took everybody's list of the church, and they poured these lists into these barbecue grills, and they set them on fire. And that was us letting go of doubt, letting go of sickness, letting go of fear, letting go of people that hurt you, letting go of people that abuse you, letting go of people who took advantage of you, that job that stressed you out, that worry of that kid that's getting in trouble. That we watched those lists burn up, and that was the just of freedom and being released and being of new. So next from there is the letter. So if you didn't have your letter, there was a little time for you to write the letter. If you had your letter like I did, I just lifted up. So we lift up the letters, and this is what we said. We said, just as soon as I can bring my written words and my expectations up to the measure of God's love, I make my demonstration. I claim my good now as I place all my desires in the loving presence of God. And from there, they went around, they asked you to seal your letter, to address it to yourself, and if you were able to put a stamp on it, put a stamp. The church said if you didn't have a stamp, that was great. No problem. They was going to send it to you. Hold on 1 second so I can stop that beeping. Sorry about that, but that beeping was going to beep for a few minutes. But they addressed the letters, put them in a box. So the church is going to mail the letters back to you in July, and then you're going to open it up and see what you have accomplished, where you're at in that process. See if you accomplished anything. Have you go back to reflect where you're at in that process, and if you need to reburn, they say that's such thing. You can reburn, and then try to move forward, working on those things for the next 6 months of the year. So we closed out with this, and it said, "Praise God, we are now free to experience Christ within and to achieve riches and fullness in the living of life." And then we went, and it was a great experience. As I said, it doesn't necessarily have to tie to religion. I would say research it, Google up. Now this service has passed, but they encourage people. If people were not able to come, they ask you to participate in your own burning ceremony. So you can do this right now. You can write down a list of things you want to rid of, people you want to get rid of. If you want to go out in your backyard or go somewhere and light it up, I would not say do it in the house with the stove. I'll say go outside and do it. So if you want to take that list, burn it, throw it in a barbecue grill or a little fiery pit, or if you have a fireplace, a real fireplace, you can do that as well. But burn that list up. Write a letter of where you seeing yourself in 2016. Put it up in a safe place. Mark a date on your calendar in the month of July that you would like to pull it out. Revisit it and see where you're at. And if you need to reburn some things, maybe some new things will pop up along this year that you might have to reburn. It's okay to do another burning ceremony in July and just move forward with that. So I am so hopeful about this. My goals, I came up with the goals. I got a plan, and I'm hoping to work my plan and just do things differently. It's easy to say it, but it's one thing to do it. And I felt like that list was us. We always said we need to let this go, or we need to let this person go, or whatever. But I felt like the list, I felt like we was physically letting go and going through the motions and letting things go. So, you know, sometimes it takes you physically doing it versus saying it, because I always say your actions speak louder than your words. So that is just an overview of it. Christ University Temple, which is located in Chicago, they do it every year. It's like a lot of different churches are doing it, organizations. Some people having their own personal ceremony. I do encourage you to, you know, have your own ceremony. I'm not here to force religion on anybody, so I just want to put that out there. This is just, I believe in God. I go to church. That's me. I'm not forcing my religion on you. If you want to explore it, more likely, I encourage you to explore it. Everybody has their different beliefs, and I respect there's different belief systems, and that's fine, because the burning ceremony is not tied to a specific religion. It's not, or a specific culture. It can be universal. You can make it pretty much into what you want to make it into. So, like I said, I'm all about making moves, making this an awesome 2016. So that's pretty much it. That's all. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more videos. As I said, you know, thank you for your continued support. Thank you for being patient, and thank you for allowing me to test out and do different things like this. So I'm going to leave with just a clip of the ceremony, which is the part where we start to see our list of things we want to get rid of, burn. That's it. That's all. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you for your support. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Peace.